Well, here we are again. Good morning to you and good morning to all of you. It's another great day today. What can I say? We are here for another opportunity to talk about the great things of this world of mental real estate, talking to you about the things that seem to matter the most. Today's no different, guys, as we get a chance to get together, share information, understand more about one another, and help ourselves to grow on a daily basis. Mental real estate, helping you learn more. But before I even get started, I got to ask you, how was your weekend? Did you get an opportunity to spend time with people that loved you? And did you get a chance to spend some time with people that loved you back? Did you do something remarkable that helped your day, that helped your weekend, that helped you just press your way on? Because mental real estate is another way for us to connect, for us to grow, to understand more about what we're doing in this life. Because you know what? Let's just be honest for a second. This life can be something else. It can't always be what we want it to be, can it? But I tell you what, we're going to definitely get the fulfillment out of this life that we deserve. And today is no different in Monday Mental Real Estate, helping you understand more about the positive and negative contributors to your mindset. And what does that mean for you? Absolutely everything. We can't leave anything out today, because today is one of those days where we get a chance to talk about something that seems to matter more and more. So today, let me get right to it, because I know we don't have a lot of time, and I'm going to make sure that I'm very intentional for you on today. So today's Monday Mental Real Estate is about understanding your perspective of thought. My life application, because you know I have to come with it. I can't show up without helping you understand more about this life that I live for what I give. And today's no different. I can remember those times, man, of being sick. Oh my God, being sick. Now, what does that mean, being sick? I can remember those times of being in the hospital, going through all these different things that the doctors would tell me. Now, a lot of y'all that do know me know that I was born with a very rare leg condition called Milroy's disease, and I've lived my life with this Milroy's disease. But let me help you and enlighten you on a few more things in case you didn't know, or even if you do know, allow me to remind you. I can remember those doctors telling me a lot of things, man, and it was not easy as a child growing up and understanding that perspective of my thought, because I didn't know what to think. I can remember being very young, and the doctors would tell my parents how with this disease that I would not possibly have my leg that long, and that I would possibly never have children. They told me there were things that I would be without as I grew older and as I grew up. And I can remember those things and how it made me feel when they would tell me that with those fevers that I had, that they talked about amputating my leg, and how terrified I was of knowing that these were the things that I was faced with on a daily basis. And let me tell you, those same things that they talked to me about my leg condition, the things that they talked about that I knew that were so damaging to me, that were not going to help me, but were more or less going to delay the response to hurting me, was something that I really had a hard time living with. And I can remember growing up and being that kid and still faced with those challenges. But the thing is, people don't always understand the challenges that you're faced with a lot of times until you are reminded of really what it is that you deal with. And I can remember those times of being told and talked to and laughed at and made fun of, and all those people that had something to say about that. But you know what it did to me? I realized that it was really damaging me, not more or less physically, because you know through life's challenges, there are things that will challenge you physically. But there are times that there are challenges that come to you that are not physical at all. They attack your mentality. They attack your mentality. Now, why is it that the things that we seem to be challenged with attack our mentality? Because a lot of times you look up and it's like, shh, it's in secret. Those times that you're challenged mentally are in places where you seem to be alone, where you seem to be isolated in your own mentality. Even in the midst of other people, we find ourselves with dealing with some of the challenges that we face alone, but they're right here. So I notice that when we're dealing with certain things, people come to us in different ways, and a lot of times they may not mean any harm at all. But let me tell you something. I'm going to share something with you, because it's just like the reality of being in high school. Because I'm going to tell you right now, my high school football team was terrible. Oh, they was terrible. I don't even know if we had a season with a 2-win record throughout my high school years. Now, I'm being transparent and very honest. I know y'all like, dang, yeah, I felt the same way. What you thought? I was there. So check this out. I can remember just like the football team. Everybody would get in that locker room, and you remember how those football teams would always huddle around each other. You can watch it on TV. You see it all the time. They run out on the field, and they get around each other, and everybody's jumping around, ha, rah, rah, and everybody's beating their chest, and then they take off running out on the field, and they're ready to play the game, and then they get in the game, and they get in the fourth quarter, and they realize in the fourth quarter, they're getting ready to what? Lose the game. Now, here's the thing. As they get ready to lose the game, all of that energy that they had at the beginning of the game doesn't exist towards the end. Now, why is that? Because let me tell you something. The reality of the results are in. And when the reality of the results are in, you have no choice other than to accept the reality. Let me say that again. When the reality of the results are in, you have no choice but to accept the results of this reality. Now, me living with Milroy's disease, I understand something. Now, what I'm talking to you about today, I'm leading you into something because I wanted to help people understand, because a lot of times, like I said, it's not the physicality of the things that really hurt you or make you weak, but it's the mentality that creates the weakness. Now, I'm not calling you weak, but I'm helping you to understand, because a lot of times we don't understand when we're talking about how we can be mentally weak. What are the things that we are faced with, and what are the challenges? Basically, what are the symptoms of mental weakness? So I'm glad you asked. Today, I'm going to share and enlighten you on some things, because as I said before, a lot of times we don't see the mental weakness because we are dealing with the reality. And the reality is the perception of the results that are created to help you understand it. Listen, if the results are here and the doctor told me I would never have kids, and the doctor told me that I was going to be sick, and the doctor told me I may have the amputation of my leg that has been giving me problems my entire life, and I believed what he had to say to me, that became my reality. Why? Because he provided the results. Wow. But a lot of us are faced with not understanding that the reality produced by the results messes with your mentality. Somebody has told me before, you may be a little weak-minded. That's crazy when someone tells you you're weak-minded. What do you mean by that? But listen, there are factors outside of what we understand, because the reality of the results can hurt you and make you weak. So listen, check this out. Now, being mentally weak, let me help you understand something, or having a weak mind generally refers to a lack of resilience and self-control in the face of challenges, negative emotions, or difficult situations. It can manifest as an inability to cope with stress, difficulty making decisions, dependence on others, or a tendency to give up easily. Are y'all listening? It's not about a lack of intelligence. It's not. But rather a lack of mental fortitude and an ability to manage one's thoughts and feelings effectively. Wow. Let me break this down to you for just a second, because I'm going somewhere. Lack of resilience. Mentally weak individuals may struggle to bounce back from setbacks, feeling overwhelmed by challenges, and easily discouraged. Difficulty with decision making. They might struggle to make choices independently, relying on others for guidance or approval. Emotional dysregulation. They may struggle to manage their emotions, leading to impulsive reactions, anger outbursts, or excessive worry. Now, I'm helping you, educate you today on understanding your mental weakness by the definition. Do the homework. Here's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not telling you that you're weak-minded, but I want to help you identify the triggers that help you realize if there are areas in your life where you felt some of these things, that maybe these things are related to some areas in your life where you have been weakened in your mentality. Now, dependence on external validation. A key sign of mental weakness is a reliance on others. Listen, I'm going to hit a key here. A key sign of mental weakness is a reliance on others for approval and self-worth rather than deriving it from within. Now, how many times have we seen other people really want us to validate their worth, validate their excellence, validate their work, validate how they feel, validate their decisions. How many times? I could go on and on, but I want to keep going here. Avoidance of responsibility. Mentality weak individuals may avoid taking ownership of their actions and mistakes, preferring to blame others or external preferring to blame others or external factors. Now, I was guilty because I can remember blaming other people for my problems, for my mess ups, for the things that I should have done correctly. I put it on somebody else for lack of information. You didn't tell me. I can't believe you let me do this. I can remember those days of deflecting. Now, let me say this again. Easily swayed. They might be easily influenced by others' opinions or external pressures, lacking a strong sense of their own beliefs and values. Ooh-wee. Negative self-talk. They might engage in negative self-talk and self-doubt, which can further undermine their confidence and ability to cope. Now listen to this. It's important to note that mental weakness is not a fixed trait. And it's possible to develop mental strength and resilience through self-awareness, learning coping mechanisms, and seeking support when needed. Now, let me ask you again, because you know what? This is crazy when we talk about these things. You know how many of those things that I read that relate to me? How many of those things that I just read that really made me think about my life, and how many times I've deflected, how many times I seek validation, how many times I put myself in position for others to tell me what I should be doing as opposed to making a informed decision myself. Now, these are transitions not just by individuals, but as I told you, a lot of times I can't necessarily blame you for saying that, hey, you are mentally weak. I can't tell you that because only you can make that determination. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these things that they're discussing may or may not have a direct result on where your position is in life and why you are in that situation. Because as I said earlier, sometimes the reality are the results, is a direct response to the results that you're given. Someone was told they had cancer. Someone was told they're going to be sick for quite some time and you're going to need to take this medication. Why, doc? Why would you tell me I got to take this medicine? Because if you don't take this medicine, X, Y, Z is going to happen to you. And the only way we're going to be able to thwart this off is that you got to be medically induced and understanding that you got to take the medication. You got to go through the treatments. And then once you go through these things, you're going to be able to come through this thing a lot better. But here it is. The fight is not out here. The fight is not out here. A lot of us tend to fight battles. And a lot of times we want to throw dukes. We want to put them up. Let's go. I'm in a battle of my life right now. You have no idea. This is my life I'm fighting for. But in fighting for your life, you don't realize the most key important part is the mentality piece. Now, when I'm talking about your mindset, your mental real of state, I said it, mental real of state, because we're talking about this real of your reality, because it's very real. Now, why am I saying this? Because listen, have you ever been stuck on the couch, told yourself you was going to the gym, you was ready to go, but the body wasn't willing? Have you ever been in that situation where you told yourself, I know I got to get up, I got to get this done, but right now I'm so tired? The weakness of the mentality. Now, I'm not telling you it makes you weak per se, but what I'm saying is that body will not respond without the mentality of the mind. Now, if the mentality is weak, the body will follow. If the mentality is strong, if the strength of your mentality is getting you what you need, giving you what you want, then listen, your progression is going to move forward without regression. Understand this, what I'm telling you, because this is mental real estate. So I told you, I got to give you two perspectives of your thought, two perspectives of your thought. Let me take a drink of this water, y'all. I'm having too much fun. So listen, when we're talking now about the mental strength, because I got to help you. I told you about the weaknesses. Listen, it is something how we find all these negative things in our lives, and they seem to come in so many ways. If I say, like they told you to put on the chalkboard all the things you don't like, and you can list like 50 million things, they say, okay, they'll say all the things you do like. You're like, 5 things. It's a laundry list when it comes to all the negativity, isn't it? It's a laundry list. How come we can't build this on the opposite side of that? Because when it looks at all the negative things about the life that we live, especially when we're talking about the mental strengths and weaknesses, when we talk about the weaknesses, my God, they pulled out a laundry list. But let me give you a few things when it talks about strength, because I'm going to encourage you today. Mental strength refers to the ability to effectively manage one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in challenging or stressful situations. Did you hear that? Yeah, let me rewind that. In challenging or stressful situations, it encompasses the following key aspects. Listen: resilience, the capacity to bounce back from setbacks and adversity. Emotional regulation, controlling and managing emotions in a healthy manner. Did you hear that? The key word there, they should have put that in bold letters. In a what? A healthy manner. In a what? In a healthy manner. Emotional regulation. Controlling and managing emotions in a healthy manner. How many of us have been guilty of trying to control our emotions and having emotional regulation, but it was not a healthy manner? Oh my God, we said what we had to say. I said what I said. I meant what I said. What you gonna do? Y'all remember them days? Now listen to this. Adaptability. Adjusting to changing circumstances and finding solutions to problems. Your adaptability is so important because it gives you the opportunity to adjust and to change circumstances and finding solutions to your problems. Persistence, maintaining determination and effort despite the obstacles. Persistence, I said, listen, that don't mean a one-hitter quitter, just give it up, I'm done. No, I'm saying persistence, maintaining determination and effort despite your obstacles. In spite of your obstacles, you got to pursue you got to be persistent, and you got to know how to move forward. Now listen, self-awareness. Understanding one's own strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. Now, this is the opposite of what I was telling you earlier for a lot of us who seek validation from other people to help us understand who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing it. Is it the right thing? Can you tell me your information about what you believe and what you think? How should I move on this? No. Self-awareness. Understanding one's own strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. These are all of the things that contribute to a strong mentality. Positive outlook, maintaining an optimistic and hopeful perspective. The positive outlook. Positive outlook. Positive outlook. Listen, positive outlook. We can never underestimate what it's like to understand a positive outlook, because a lot of times what we see as positive is out here. Positive outlook starts here. Positive outlook starts here. Where does it start? Right here. Because in other words, you got to see it, say it, and then believe it. See what you say until you say what you see until you see what you say. Listen here. We're moving forward. Decision making rational and informed choices under pressure. Did you hear what I said? Listen to me. Just decision making, when we're talking about the strength of your mentality, decision making rational and informed choices under pressure. Nah, not when it's easy. I said under pressure. When it gets hot in the kitchen, when people are at you for some certain information and you're trying to figure it out, when you ain't got but this much time to come up with what's next, making those decisions is key in understanding the strength and weakness of your mentality. Now here it is. In a nutshell, mental strength is essential for navigating life's challenges, achieving goals, and maintaining overall well-being. It allows individuals to cope with stress, overcome difficulties, and thrive, let me say it one more time, and thrive in demanding situations. Now, your perspective of thought for your mentality is understood. Strengths and weaknesses. Because listen, we've all been in those positions where life seems to deal a certain card. We ain't playing Uno, y'all. We ain't playing spades. This is solitaire. Because in solitaire, it takes a level of focus. It takes a level of knowledge. And it takes a level of understandings to make the right move. Now, I can tell you what you should be doing, but listen, the one thing I can't do is I can inspire you as much as I can. I can tell you all the things that I know I need to say to you. I can help lift you and elevate your day. But let me ask you, when this camera goes off, how will you inspire yourself? How will you build into the strength of your mentality? Because listen, it's crazy, and I'm telling you it's crazy, because until you dig into the research of understanding what the weakness of the mentality is, and seeing that some of those, by definition, of the things that I had to say about the weakness of the mind, how they relate to so many things that we have done in our lives. How many times we wanted to throw in the towel. I can remember those times of running the race. Yeah, that's funny when you're a child and how you want to get out there and run in the streets. And we used to have street races. I mean, we'd be like, I'm faster than you. No, I'm faster than you. And what happens, we get up there and we lie, and we're going to say, where are we racing to? We're going to race down there to that tree, and we're going to touch the tree, and we're going to run back. And y'all remember that? Listen, at the beginning of the race, every single time at the beginning of the race, everybody's set in position. Everybody's ready to go. And when they say you're marked, you set, and then go. There's always somebody that cheats. Don't lie to me. There's always somebody that cheats, wants to take off 2 steps ahead of you. But the reality is, if you do it correctly, when they say you're marked and set, go, you take off running. And what happens? You're both running. You're running hard. You're sprinting fast. You can see that tree. You just got to get down there and you got to touch that tree. But when you get to that tree, both of you get there about the same time and you touch it. And you're like, man, so you both turn around and you start running back. And what happens? As you running back, you both are going. You see now the finish line. But what happens? One of you start to run out of gas. And guess what? The other person is picking up speed. The other person is picking up speed. And the person that's falling behind is still running hard, but they realize they can't keep up and they can't catch up. But the one thing that I realize is that as the person that is getting ahead is moving further along, when the person is laying back, now as kids, as the person that is laying back is still running, he begins to slow down. And he begins to quit. And he begins to come to a slow walk. And the other guy just passes the finish line. And the thing about that is that the reality of your mentality is the strength isn't in understanding how to win the race. The strength is in understanding how to finish the race. And you know what? And I'm saying that because my transparency won't allow me to just move by that. Because the reality is, it helps me to understand that a lot of times in my life, I was running the race to win it. A lot of times in my life, I ran the race to win it because I wanted the gift of celebration. I wanted the feeling of knowing I get my acknowledgement. I did it. I won. I beat you. Now you can't say nothing else to me. But the older it seems that we get, we realize it's not about winning the race. It's just about finishing. So the mentality of where we are today and understanding your mental real estate is to help you understand the perspective of not only the strengths and weaknesses, but where they apply. Because in your defense and in my defense, there are a lot of things and circumstances that contribute to our mentality that have nothing to do with our mentality. Because the reality of the results that we get create the reality in our mentality. And then we start believing a lot of times that what we've been told, what the doctor had to say, what our parents might have told us. And then the reality comes right down and puts it right in your lap. And you see the results because there's evidence of the reality. And when that happens, you start to realize something. Maybe I'm thinking a little bit differently today. But today is about you and understanding the positive and negative contributes to your mindset. And the reality of your mentality is going to help carry you over from your strengths and your weaknesses moving forward, because you got to know what you show. And a lot of times, information missed is not always the information that we need. Information that we miss is something that a lot of times, if we just only knew. How many times have you told yourself that? Man, if I knew that back then, I'd be a better man right now. But you know what? I turned out okay. So God bless you all on today, and let me shout you out and say thank you so much for your time. Shalina Brown, good day to you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for being in here. I appreciate you. Miss Ernestine Baylor, mother, how are you? It's always good to see you. Always good to see the family. I love you all. Continue to do great things. Yolanda Shaheed, always being a great supporter of mental real estate, being in here every Monday. Thank you so much. My cousin, Leonard Munn. What's up, family? Listen, you stay healthy, my friend, my family, my cousin, my dude. Stay healthy, keep doing what's right, and keep celebrating living this life, because you know what? Great things are still always in store. We're doing more with less nowadays, if you know what I'm talking about. My brother, Adrian Revels, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for hopping in. Another great day, another great opportunity for for us to talk about great things. Stay inspired, brother. Keep preaching the word and giving life to others as always. God bless you all so much. I'm telling you, it's going to be a good one. And now, last but not least, if I missed you, hold on. Who we got in here? I see somebody else that tapped in. Where you at? Where'd you go? Jetta Thompson. Good morning. Mother, how are you? I see you. My children's grandmother, how you doing? Mother Jetta, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that this helps you. Another opportunity for us to talk about the mentality that we're living with. Because, oh my God, aren't we challenged on so many different levels today? Because it gets there. But last but not least, and I'm going to let you go, my life's blood, my reason for my season, my mama. I love you, mama. I thank God for you every day. I pray for you, and I thank you for supporting your son and helping me to understand this vision that God has given me. And moving forward, I'm grateful to have you by my side as the mother of mental real estate. Continue what you do, mother. Have a great day, and I love you all. So take care of yourselves, guys. Have a great day and a safe week. And I can't wait to talk to you again, because this mental real estate thing, oh my God, it ain't going nowhere. It is growing because it's here to stay. So God bless you all. Take care and have yourself another great one. And we'll talk again next week. We did it one more time. Take care, guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.